And sustainability is such an integrated part of HUD's mission and HUD's core values, which are to utilize housing as a platform for the quality of life. And I think that as you begin to pursue your sustainability initiatives, you'll find that they're almost synonymous with quality of life. That's really where we're going with this. We want transportation and housing to be close. We want job centers to be close to our house so we can spend more time with our families, so we can embrace a quality of life. And then, of course, build inclusive and sustainable communities free from discrimination. And this is a social equity issue of sustainability. This was an issue that, as Ann said, was critically important in your application, and one of the reasons that you scored so highly, because you addressed those populations. Now, sustainability is sort of a triple bottom line. You've probably heard it until the cows come home. It's environmental stewardship, economic stewardship, and social equity. And they converge. The nexus, of course, is sustainability. We want to have a quality of life for ourselves and our families, but we don't want to compromise that for future generations. And the best example is energy. We want to be able to utilize the energy we need to maintain our lifestyle, but we don't want to deplete our resources, whether it be oil or gas, whether it be water, which is going to be a very critical resource, trees. We want to look at all of our development relative to a conservation standpoint. And this is a definition. I'm going to read this. It came from the Sustainable Communities Office. The sustainable community is an urban, suburban, or rural community that has more housing and transportation choices, is closer to jobs, shops, and schools, is more energy independent, and helps protect clean air and water, which is exactly what we were just talking about. It's a quality of life issue. So when you see sustainable communities, just think those are communities that will enhance quality of life. Again, Ann talked about the partnership, Brent talked about the partnership, HUD, DOT, EPA, USDA is sort of an informal partner now, but we're getting more and more and more partners are joining forces. DOE, Commerce, everyone is embracing sustainability. And in our state, the NC State University, UNC Chapel Hill, they all have offices of sustainability. Appalachian State University got an award for its sustainability initiatives, and the state of North Carolina has a Sustainable Communities Task Force and just has awarded some grants. I'll talk a little bit more about that down the road. So all of us, the private sector, SAS, underwriters, laboratories, everyone's talking about sustainability now. So you're at the forefront. You're at the leading edge with this grant. I mean, you did a good job. You won it, and now you can serve as a model. But it's going to be beyond. It's going to be beyond the government sectors. You'll see it in the private sector. This is sort of I think it's a very visual slide that Dwayne added. But Ann went over the livability principles, so I'm not going to hit you with those again. You know, transportation, housing, economics, valuing your communities, etc. It brings in health and well-being. Oh, there they are. Okay, there we go. Transportation choices, energy efficient, etc. We've heard it and heard it and heard it, and you've embraced it because you wrote your application around those principles. And this year, as we talked, it was a very, very competitive grant program. There were 336 potential regions that could apply. Of those 336, 225 applied, and 45 won. Part, Land Sky, North Carolina won. For a total award in the regional planning grant of $98 million. There were, let's see, I guess, 13 regions from small communities, 6 consortia, etc. And then we had certainly 2 North Carolina winners. We're very, very proud of those. Each one of those North Carolina winners won $1.6 million. We also had, I'll talk a little bit about those communities that have achieved preferred sustainability status and what this means for future grant programs, what this means for partners with those communities in just a minute. But there were 29 of those regions or those communities that are now called preferred sustainability status communities, and 3 of those 29 are in North Carolina. You won $1.6 million and to develop a regional plan. Again, you'll be integrating 2 councils of governments, 4 metropolitan planning organizations, 4 cities, 1.6 million people, $1.6 billion. Land use, transportation, housing. Again, social equity was something that you really did very, very well in your application. And now I think you have 2 groups who are reaching out, one to underserved populations, those that are not traditionally so involved in regional planning, and then to those populations in general that are involved in these issues. So PART has really jump-started this. You've moved fast. And I'm just really excited to work with you. And I think I talked about the PART as the lead applicant, but you also had four cities, Greensboro, Winston, Burlington, and High Point. And then the metropolitan planning organizations associated with those cities, 2 councils of government that you're pulling together, the Piedmont Triad partnership, lots of counties and lots of sub-task force that are moving along to spearhead this project. And in the Asheville region, the Land of Sky Regional Council also won $1.6 million. We're very, very happy about that. They're looking at a 5-county area, pulling together lots and lots of plans to integrate those into one regional plan. So they're going to be moving ahead too. I know Ann has worked very closely with Land of Sky. And then, of course, there were the Tiger II. These are the DOT grants, the Tiger II grants. And Asheville won an $850,000 Tiger II grant. They're going to be doing some development down at East Riverside. And Lexington, a little closer to home, and we'll go there today on the tour, won a $700,000 Tiger II grant. They're going to be developing a multimodal hub center, a multimodal transit center, bicycle transit, pedestrian transit, in anticipation of the light rail coming close by. Then I want to talk a little bit about those 29 applicants that got the preferred sustainability status. What it means to North Carolina. It's a recognition that you did very, very well on your application. You weren't in the range to actually be successful, but you were well above the range to be competitive, and you had a good application. What does it mean? It means that you can have some capacity building, technical assistance in your community, but also means, very importantly, that you can get some bonus points in future applications, not only in this Sustainable Communities application, but also in applications for other HUD programs and in applications for DOT and EPA programs. So it's a feather in those communities' caps. And these are the 3: Central Ina out of Charlotte, the COG, Triangle J in the RTP, and North Carolina's Eastern region, that's in Kinston, is the military task force down in Kinston, and they're looking very, very carefully at the intense growth in that area, in the eastern part of North Carolina. So these, if you partner and you have a signed statement that you're partnering with one of these preferred sustainability status communities, you can get 2 bonus points in the fiscal year 2011 NOFAs in HUD. And when I looked in the general section at the NOFAs that are going to allow these, at least 23 NOFAs are going to accept these preferred sustainability status communities bonus points. So that's very good. It's far-reaching. And then, of course, the state of North Carolina has spearheaded some initiatives of its own, and Lisa Regal is back there, who's headed up that. They had $250,000 that they were going to award as grants. They recently had their competition. We reviewed applications and had 9 winners, 15 applicants and 9 winners. They're going to provide some technical assistance, but they're also just spearheading sustainability in a good cross-sectional area across the state. These are the winners in the North Carolina Sustainable Communities Task Force. 5 are in the RTP region, but there are also others. The town of Robbinsville in the Eastern region, that's one of the preferred sustainability status communities, and the Wilmington MPO. So quite a number of excellent projects. I read those applications too and fully enjoyed that job doing that. And they're good projects. They're spearheading a lot of sustainability initiatives, and we'll have a lot of education outreach across our state. So HUD's policy priorities, and again, these policy priorities are important because they offer you bonus points, usually in the NOFAs, job creation, but sustainability, the reason the slide is here, sustainability is right up there at the top. So you know that, you're, as I said to Brent in one of the talks I gave, you're running with the top dogs because you have that edge in relative to this application and all of your initiatives. We've been doing sustainability for a long, long time. We just didn't call it that. And then I talked a little bit about the 2011 NOFAs, and I'll end on this note. We will have funding, about $100 million. $68 million will be for the Sustainable Communities Regional Planning Grants. About $30 million will go to the Challenge Grants. There will be those bonus points for the preferred sustainability status communities, and the NOFA hasn't, we call it, hit the streets yet, but it certainly will soon. It's been written. It's in the process of being reviewed. So just be prepared, because I know that the intention is to make those awards and execute them by the end of the fiscal year, which is September the 30th. So I want to thank you very much for having me, for letting me pinch hit for Dwayne. I'm not nearly as articulate as he is, but thanks for putting up with me. And it's always a pleasure to work with you, especially to work with Paul.